William Carter stood in front of the large viewing window on the salvage ship Iron Hope. His eyes locked on the massive object floating in space. It was bigger than any ship he had seen before. The name on the side of the wreck read Eden's Hope. "We finally found it," whispered Cole, the ship's pilot. Eden's Hope had been lost for over 150 years. It was one of the first Class 111 world ships, built to carry millions of people to new worlds. It had vanished near Jupiter, without a single signal or warning. Many believed it was destroyed long ago. William felt excitement in his chest. This was the mission of a lifetime. The United Human Space Command UHSC had offered a huge reward for anyone who found it. His team was the first to arrive. "Bring us in closer," William ordered. The Iron Hope moved toward the wreck slowly. The lights on their ship lit up the dark surface of Eden's Hope. It looked untouched, but something felt strange. The ship had deep burn marks on its side, like it had been in a battle. "Prepare to board," William said. His team suited up. William led the way. They docked and entered through one of the airlocks. Inside, everything was silent. Dust floated in the air. The walls looked old, but the system still showed signs of power. "This ship should be dead," Cole whispered over the comms. William agreed. But deep inside the ship, a soft light was glowing. He followed it, leading the team through dark halls until they reached the engine room. At the center stood a large glass chamber. Inside was a glowing orb, bright and alive. It looked like it was breathing. "What is that?" someone asked. William walked closer. He had seen many power sources in his career, but nothing like this. It didn't look human-made. The energy coming off it felt strange, almost alive. "This must be why the ship still has power," William said. He turned to his team. "We found something big. Prepare to tow the ship back to Earth." As they left the engine room, none of them noticed the small blinking light on the wall. A silent signal had just been sent far across space. Someone or something was coming. News of the discovery spread fast. By the time William and his crew returned to Earth, every major news channel was talking about Eden's Hope. People called it a miracle. Scientists, leaders, and even children watched the footage of the massive ship being pulled into Earth's orbit. William stood in front of the large window of the UHSC command tower in New Denver. The ship looked like a floating city in the sky. His chest filled with pride. They had done it. They had brought back one of humanity's greatest creations. His moment of pride did not last long. A loud alarm started to sound through the tower. Red lights flashed. Soldiers ran to their posts. William turned to see General Brooks, head of UHSC security, walking quickly toward him. "Carter," the general said in a serious tone. "We have a problem." "What kind of problem?" William asked. The general pointed to the large screen on the wall. It showed 3 ships entering Earth's atmosphere. They were black, smooth, and unlike anything human-made. "Aliens?" William asked quietly. The general nodded. "We don't know who they are, but they're landing near New Denver." Within minutes, the alien ships touched down on a wide landing field. They stood like dark towers against the sky. Soldiers surrounded the area, weapons ready. The ship doors opened with a soft hiss. A tall figure walked out, dressed in black and silver armor. Its skin was dark gray, its eyes large and sharp. More figures followed behind. William watched from the command tower. His heart pounded. This was first contact. A voice came through the speakers. It was translated into English by the UHSC systems. "I am Commander Zarzul, of the Zypherian Guard," the alien said. "We come for what was taken from us." General Brooks leaned forward to speak back. "You are standing on Earth. State your purpose clearly." Commander Zarzul took a step closer. His voice was cold but calm. "You have found the ship Eden's Hope. Inside is our technology. You have no right to it. Return it to us at once." The command center fell silent. General Brooks turned off the channel and faced his officers. "We don't hand over our property to strangers," he said firmly. "Prepare defenses. No one takes that ship from us." William stood frozen. He didn't know what scared him more, the aliens on Earth or the humans who were ready to start a war. William sat alone in his small quarters that night. He could not sleep. His mind kept going back to what the alien had said. Return what was taken from us. Was it true? Had Eden's Hope been built with stolen alien tech? He opened his tablet and looked through the ship's old records. Most files were locked or damaged, but the engine blueprints caught his eye. They didn't look human. The design was smooth, almost organic. No sharp edges, no human markings. A quiet knock at his door made him jump. It was Cole. He looked nervous. "William, someone wants to meet you. They told me not to tell anyone else." William stood up, confused. "Who?" Cole swallowed hard. "The Zypherians. They met in an old supply station outside the city. The place was empty." William's heart raced as he walked in. Two Zypherian figures waited inside. One of them was smaller than Jarzul. It stepped forward. "I am Sarvik," the alien said in a calm voice. "I am not here to harm you." William kept his hands at his sides, trying to stay calm. "Why did you bring me here?" William asked. Sarvik's eyes were serious. "We watched you in the command center. You looked like you wanted answers." William nodded slowly. "What answers?" Sarvik pointed to the small device on his belt. A light blinked and a projection filled the air. It showed an old Zypherian ship, almost the same size as Eden's Hope. The ship was being attacked by human ships. The recording showed humans stealing something from the Zypherian ship. "That is your Eden's Hope," Sarvik said. "Your people took our core, our life source. It powers space itself. In the wrong hands it can break worlds." William's chest felt tight. He looked away. "Why are you showing me this?" Sarvik stepped closer. "We do not wish for war, but we cannot leave without the core. It is not safe with your people." William felt the weight of the truth. All this time humanity had praised Eden's Hope as their greatest ship, but it had been built with stolen alien power. What will happen if they use it? William asked softly. Sarvik's voice grew dark. "If they push the core too far, it will tear open space. Your world could be lost." William rubbed his face. He had to do something, but who would believe him? Sarvik placed a small data chip in William's hand. "This is the proof. Use it to stop this before it's too late." William nodded, knowing what he had to do next. William stood outside the UHSC High Command building. He held the Zypherian data chip tightly in his hand. The proof felt heavier than it looked. He walked through the main doors and headed straight for General Brooks's office. The guards tried to stop him, but he didn't care. "General, I need to speak with you," William said as he pushed inside. General Brooks looked up from his desk, annoyed. "What is it, Carter?" William took a deep breath and placed the data chip on the desk. "I've seen the truth. Eden's Hope was built using stolen Zypherian technology. We have no right to keep that core." The general leaned back in his chair, looking more amused than angry. "And where did you get this story?" "From the Zypherians themselves. They showed me proof," William said. General Brooks pressed a button. The data played in the air. The room filled with the recording of the old battle, the theft of the core. For a moment the general's face darkened, but then he shut off the projection and shook his head. "It doesn't matter," he said coldly. "We found the ship. It belongs to us now." William stepped closer, angry. "You saw the recording. If we keep using that core, it could destroy Earth." The general stood up and slammed his hands on the desk. "Enough. Do you think we're giving up our only chance to lead the galaxy? That power is ours. We'll protect it no matter what." William felt his stomach turn. The general wasn't interested in the truth. He only cared about control. Later that night, William stood outside the shipyard. He watched as UHSC soldiers prepared warships. They loaded weapons and activated shields. He heard officers shouting orders. Earth was getting ready for a fight. Above them the Zypherian ships floated like shadows in the sky. They had not attacked yet, but the tension was sharp in the air. Cole walked up beside William. "What are you going to do?" William turned to him. "I have to stop this. I'm going back to Eden's Hope." Cole looked worried. "You'll be arrested." William nodded. "Maybe. But I have to try." William moved fast through the shadows. He knew the security routes. He knew the weak spots. Within minutes he reached the docking bay where Eden's Hope floated in the sky. He slipped past the guards and boarded the ship once again. The halls were cold and quiet, just like before. He headed straight for the engine room. The core still glowed, pulsing with strange energy. William placed his hand on the glass chamber. "I need to end this," he whispered. But time was running out. Outside, the first warning shots were already being fired in space. William stood in front of the glowing core. It hummed softly, lighting up the dark engine room. He knew he didn't have much time. The UHSC and the Zyphurians were both getting ready to fight. If he didn't act now, war would start. He opened his toolkit and got to work. The core was locked inside a safety chamber. William studied the controls. They looked strange, half human, half something else. He had never seen tech like this before. He carefully unlocked the safety locks, one by one. The lights on the chamber turned from green to yellow. Suddenly, a loud voice echoed through the ship's speakers. "William Carter, this is General Brooks. Step away from the core. You are under arrest." William froze for a moment. He looked up at the camera. He knew they were watching him. He pressed the comms button. "General, listen to me. This core is not safe. If we push it too far, it will destroy everything. I have proof." The general cut him off. "You're betraying your people. Stand down or we'll take you by force." William's hands shook. He could hear ships outside powering up weapons. Earth's defense grid was locking on the Zyphurian ships. War was only seconds away. William made his choice. He pressed the emergency broadcast button on the ship's console. His voice echoed across all channels. "Earth and Zyphurian. This is William Carter. I have proof that the core on Eden's Hope belongs to the Zyphurians. I'm sending the data now." He loaded the data chip into the system. The old recording played for all to see. Soldiers, leaders, and even the Zyphurians heard the truth. The stolen ship. The stolen core. The danger it carried. William's voice shook but stayed clear. "We don't own this. If we keep it, we risk destroying our world. Please, stand down. Let me return the core. We don't need war, we need peace." For a long moment, no one answered. The air was heavy with silence. Then a new voice came through the channel. It was Commander Zarzel. "We hear you, William Carter. We accept your offer of peace, if your leaders agree." William held his breath, waiting for General Brooks to respond. The whole world seemed to stop. Finally, the general spoke. His voice cold but controlled. "Stand down. All forces stand down." William closed his eyes in relief. He had done it. William stood by the core, breathing hard. The engine room felt like it was closing in on him. He had stopped the fight for now. But it wasn't over yet. Outside the ship, military transport ships approached. He heard the loud clanks as soldiers boarded Eden's Hope. Heavy boots echoed in the halls, getting closer. William stayed by the controls. He knew if they arrested him now, the Zyphurians might think the peace was broken. The ship's comms crackled again. Commander Zarzul's voice filled the room. "William Carter, you have shown us respect. Will your people do the same?" William opened the channel. His voice was steady, but his hands trembled. "I've sent the proof. I've told them the truth. It's up to them now." The door behind him slid open. General Brooks stepped in with 2 soldiers. His face was hard, unreadable. "Stand down, Carter," the general ordered. William stood tall, not moving away from the core. "You heard the Zyphurians. They're offering peace. All we have to do is return what we took." The general walked slowly toward him. "You gave away military secrets to aliens. You risked everything we've worked for." William didn't back down. "I risked it to save Earth. Look at the bigger picture, General. We don't need that power if it costs us everything." The general stopped just a few steps away. He stared at William for a long moment. The soldiers gripped their weapons tighter. The comms crackled again. "General Brooks," Azar-Zul said, "we will accept peace if the core is returned. If not, we will defend what is ours." The whole room was silent. The weight of the decision hung in the air. Finally the general sighed and lowered his head. He waved off the soldiers. "Do it," the general said softly. "Give it back." William's chest filled with relief. He turned to the controls and carefully unlocked the last safety seal. The glass chamber opened with a hiss. The core floated gently in the air. It glowed softly, as if it knew it was finally going home. Later, on the landing field, William carried the core toward the Zypherian ships. Commander Zarzul stood waiting. They stopped in front of each other. William held out the core. Zarzul took it with care, holding it like something sacred. The Zypherian commander nodded slowly. "You have done what few would dare. You chose peace. We will remember this." William nodded back. "Thank you for giving us the chance." Without another word, Zarzul turned and walked back to his ship. The Zypherian ships lifted into the sky and disappeared into the stars. The war was over before it even began. Days passed. Life on Earth slowly returned to normal. The skies were clear again. The streets of New Denver were calm, but William knew the world had changed. He stood on the deck of Eden's Hope, looking out the window. The ship floated quietly in Earth's orbit. It was still massive, still impressive, but now, without the core, it was just an empty shell. The media had moved on. People argued over whether giving up the core was the right choice. Some called William a traitor. Others called him a hero. William didn't care about the titles. He only cared that no one had died. General Brooks had not spoken to him since the handover. The UHSC had paused all salvage operations for now. Some wanted to study the ship. Others wanted to leave it as a reminder. William had made his choice. He knew he had done the right thing. Cole walked onto the deck, holding 2 cups of hot coffee. He handed one to William. "So, what now?" Cole asked. William smiled a little. "We find the next ship." Cole laughed softly. "You really think there's another one out there?" William nodded. "The galaxy is big. This won't be the last mystery we find." They stood there for a while, sipping their coffee, watching the stars. William looked at Eden's Hope one last time. He placed his hand on the cold glass window. "Goodbye," he whispered. He turned and walked toward the shuttle. It was time to move on. The Zypherians were gone. The war was stopped, and humanity had learned something important. Power was not worth more than peace. As the shuttle left the ship and entered Earth's atmosphere, William felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Hope.